The next gen Tata Tiago. Dual tone interior, dual smartphone deck but wireless charger. Zip fast 100% watt syakmat bercedian, blind view monitor, bagi kiwai. Tek kum ki kali rem, hagador ke berjam, tak sao pun riulak. Just wow.
Halor kapang bal kalong kabadon kam banyada ya ka khendo pai ba bat ban om di na lendat kabala pau kum kawai na kishpotli ki mat Jingdawa jong Voice of the People Party ya kabala wanra hakadur jong short duration discussion do ba Arden Miller basayo maj up MLA na nongkram hagasngi ba ar jong dorbar sunrai jong ying dorbar thawan ka jilla hak ar pusantare unailar araja arpnreu umentri rang ba ka jilla Conrad ke sangma ulak Kyntu ya ka VPP ban Trei kat kum ki jing Hikai jongka Umentri rang ba ulakdo halor ke jingwan ra ka executive committee balam khmat da ka VPP Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council KHADC ya ka Khasi Hills Autonomous District KHAD Regulation and Administration of Land Amendment Bill araja arpnreu ka bertemu pun kala ya ka Principal Act araja arpway da ka baweng ya ka Section 16 Ketika Section 16 kat kum ke Principal Act ke kedau ya ka pangyam jingyamir jingmut lani ke jingya selok hapadang ke Executive Committee bat ki dorbar snong ki dorbar raj bat dorbar hima haswa ke jingsam kendau kumta umentri rang ba ulong makam ya ha ban weng ya ka kendor nyamir jingmut bat ki dorbar snong ki dorbar raj bat ki dorbar hima lada kwa banyada ya ka kendau ke siap kum ke sarkar habashim ni ai jaka ka yat bet kat kum ke Meghalaya Transfer of Land Regulation Act kat kendai spa nyopawai umentri rang ba ulong balada ka longkum ha kani ka rukom undawa kala na ka KHADC but VPP halor kani ka benta.
So next is regarding protecting land and stop backdoor sales. So the statement that public land is being sold to corporates is incorrect. Every acre of land acquired by the government of Meghalaya for public projects has been acquired in full conformity with the Meghalaya Transfer of Land Regulation Act 1971. So the government's process of procuring land for development projects is transparent, sir, and is on record. There's nothing to hide, sir. An expression of interest is called for all willing landowners who quote their own price, sir. And after receiving no objection from all authorities, including the headman, we move forward. So the Deputy Commissioner then holds a public hearing and an inquiry to confirm that the land is free of encumbrance, certifies that the price is reasonable, and only then is the proposal considered. The final decision on purchasing any land is made collectively by the Cabinet. This again, sir, is a very important practice we started. Any procurement of land cannot be done in isolation by any department. The decision is taken at the Cabinet, where entire Cabinet and government machinery is involved, sir. So this is exactly how the land for Shillong Airport expansion and the new Shillong Township were acquired, sir. So the government is following all due processes and is procuring land only for projects that unlock vast opportunities for the youth of the state. So here I would like to state that while we are looking at protecting our land, which of course, sir, this is something which is sentimental and, at the heart of what our tradition and our culture is. So government has always maintained a balance. There has never been a situation where we have bulldozed in any way. There has never been a situation where we go from the back door and get the sale of any land done. Everything is done in a procedure and a manner that is known to all. And as mentioned by the honorable member and the mover of this short duration, he mentioned that the community should be taken into consideration. And sir, I agree totally with that particular aspect. But I would also like to stress that the honorable member and his political party should practice what they preach. So today, you're aware, sir, that there is an act of the Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council Regulation and Administration of Land Amendment Bill 2026. And there is a clause there in Section 16 which says that in Section 16 of the Principal Act, the word, quote, after prior consultation with respective Dorbar Shnongs, Dorbar Raid, and Dorbar Hima, unquote, appearing after the words Executive Committee shall be deleted. So this particular amendment is quite unfortunate. And I must say it goes completely against the principle that was just mentioned in this discussion that we are having today. And I quote again, community should be taken into consideration, sir. Whereas in the Khasi Hills District Council, this particular act today is being amended to remove the Rangbashnongs, remove the Raid as well as the Hima from this entire procedure of participation, sir. So where is the fairness? Where is the fairness? And sir, when we talk about ensuring that there must be a system of transparency, that there must be a procedure in which all the different aspects are involved. Sir, our forefathers had that sight, had that vision. They knew that this must be done. And that is why today, sir, we have traditional institutions and setups. We have Rangbashnongs, we have the Raid, and we have the Hima, precisely to ensure that multiple checks and balances are there in our traditional system. And this system has been followed for decades and centuries, sir, I must say. And therefore, I urge, sir, that maybe this particular demand that is there, I would like to put this demand back to VPP. And I would like to also put my charter of demand on VPP to the KHADC and tell them that please practice what you preach. Please involve the traditional institutes. Please ensure that community is not left behind. I think that is very, very important. I totally agree with what the Honourable Member has mentioned, sir.
Kawai pat kamat kabau menteri rang ba ulo jubab ka deiban weng ya ka jingkhang ti deu yong ha kabau ong ba ka jingkhang kam dan shu nrei ka don kam ban pentri kam ya ki kan don ban yok long yo deu yong ulo ong ba ka komiti bala thau da ka sarkar India kan shong ya ka jelang jongka ban ya thirbha ban ailat ya ki small scale miners.
Lift the ban on coal mining. So the ban imposed by the National Green Tribunal in 2014 on unregulated coal mining had a significant impact on Meghalaya's coal-dependent communities, affecting the livelihood of thousands of traditional miners and their families. At the same time, it brought into focus the need to address concerns related to unsafe mining practices, environmental protection, and regulatory compliance. The Honorable Supreme Court, in its judgment in Civil Appeal number 10,720 of 2019, directed that all coal mining activities in Meghalaya must be undertaken strictly in accordance with the Mines and Mineral Development and Regulation Act 1957, the Mines Act 1952, and the Environment Protection Act 1986, and carry out coal mining operations. As per the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court in Meghalaya, which is governed by the provisions of the 6th Schedule to the Constitution of India, private and community landowners possess both surface and subsoil rights. It recognized that the tribal land ownership owns not only the land, but also the minerals beneath it. So this judgment in itself is a very, very strong and powerful validation of our traditional rights. And this order of the Supreme Court, sir, cannot be just seen from the coal ban perspective, but it gives an overall arching right to the landowners in line with our traditional culture and our belief and our ownership, that not just the land, the surface, but even the subsoil rights belong to the landowner. And this, sir, is, I must say, a very, very historic judgment that the Supreme Court gave in favor of the state and the people of Meghalaya. So accordingly, such landowners may lease out their lands to eligible persons for the purpose of coal mining, subject to the applicable laws, rules, and regulatory requirements. In compliance with the directions of the Honorable Supreme Court and to facilitate the transition of safe, legal and scientific mining, the Government of Meghalaya notified a standard operating procedure on 5th of March 2021. The SOP established a clear framework for the grant of prospecting licenses and mining leases for coal, thereby enabling a gradual shift from unregulated mining practices to a regulated and sustainable mining regime. As on date, previous approvals for prospecting licenses for 30 blocks and for mining lease of 12 blocks have been granted by the Ministry of Coal. Furthermore, coal production has commenced in 3 coal blocks. One of the key challenges in expanding scientific coal mining in Meghalaya is the regulatory requirement of a minimum 100-hectare area for the grant of mining leases. This requirement possesses significant difficulties for small miners, many of whom do not possess land holdings of the prescribed size. In addition, the approval processes involving central government authorities can be time-consuming and complex. So the state government has acknowledged these challenges and has taken up the matter with Government of India and continues to pursue measures to facilitate greater participation of small miners in lawful and scientific mining activities. In response, the Ministry of Coal constituted a committee comprising representatives of the Coal Ministry, Central Mine Planning Design Institute, the Directorate General of Mines Safety, Shillong region, and the Government of Meghalaya to examine these matters. So the meeting of this committee was held on 31st of July 2026, and several concerns were deliberated. The state government has proposed the following. Number 1, delegation of powers under Section 26 of the MMDR Act 1957, specifically power to grant prior approval under Section 5(1) and the mining plan approval under Section 5(2) to the state government. B, reduction of minimum concession area. C, setting up a project monitoring unit to monitor mining activities in the state. D, examination of an alternative safety-oriented mining technique suggested by a local coal association. So the meeting concluded with directions to the department concerned to examine the proposals submitted before the committee. The next meeting of the committee is tentatively scheduled to be held very soon. I expect, sir, within this next 20 days to 30 days, the committee will meet again. So consultations have also been held with coal miners associations and other stakeholders to understand their concerns and facilitate a practical solution within the existing legal framework. The challenges faced by small miners are being actively addressed through due legal and regulatory processes. The government is making continuous efforts to restore their livelihood by facilitating the lawful resumption of coal mining while ensuring strict adherence to safety standards and statutory requirements. So the point that is mentioned here, to lift the ban on coal mining. Sir, I'm happy to inform the Honorable Member and the House that the ban on coal mining has been lifted. There is no doubt about that factor. So therefore, if anybody is unaware whether the ban is still there or not, so the ban has been lifted. There is no ban on coal mining. The point that Supreme Court has mentioned is that you can mine, but you have to mine as per the law. You have to mine as per the regulations, which are the Mines and Minerals Regulation Act, the Mine Safety Act, the Mines Act, and the Environmental Protection Act. So therefore, I want to make it very clear on this, on the floor of the House, sir, in this August House, that mining, the ban on coal mining has been lifted, but the process of allowing the scientific procedure to happen is a matter of great complications. And the reason it is there, sir, I must share with the House, is because our land holding systems are different from the rest of the country. So here, the government of India and the coal ministry has to look at Meghalaya in a very, very different manner. And they have to create different laws because of our land hosting systems being different. That's challenge number one. Challenge number two, sir, our seams are very thin. It's not like other places in the country where the seams are very thick and you can do open cast mining and you get the coal and you can mine. Here, since the seams are very thin, open cast mining does not become economically viable. And hence, the government of India would have to come out with a special technique to ensure the safety is also maintained and yet the economic viability of the project or the mine also comes out. So we are trying to balance these two aspects. So what I'm happy to inform, sir, the House and all the honorable members, and through you, sir, to the coal miners also especially, that, sir, we have started the process of discussion with the government of India. And I'm so pleased to tell you, sir, that the last meeting that I had with the honorable Minister of Coal, and I was with the honorable MLA from Sutunga, who had accompanied me, and our officials were there. And in that particular meeting, the minister was very, very clear. And of course, I cannot go too much into details of the discussion, but I can tell you that much, that he said, find a way. He told his officers, find a way. And we need to find a way because the mines and the people there, the land holding system is different. And therefore, the system that we are proposing for the rest of the country cannot work in Meghalaya. And he was very, very particular about it. So while he formed the committee, I can share with the House, sir, I requested the Honorable Minister that if a time-bound manner or a specific time can be given to resolve this. And there again, Honorable Minister gave directions that he wants this issue to be resolved at the earliest. So, sir, we are very hopeful on two aspects. Number one, that the size, the holding from 100 acres will be reduced drastically, which means our small-time miners will also be able to participate. It may not be very, very small, but it will be somewhere where it is manageable and will cover majority of our miners. And number two, the technique for mining would be something that will ensure that we don't go with the old mechanism, but at the same time, we adapt to it and create the safety measures needed to ensure that the lives of the miners as well as the lives of the environment is protected. And I don't want to go into detail of the technology that is being discussed, sir, but I can share with you that I have had a meeting, you can say officially, but not with the committee officially, but with the members multiple times, including Government of India. One of the additional secretaries of coal is chairing this committee, and I've had discussions with her on this matter. And I have specifically tried to clarify these points from the Meghalaya perspective to ensure that they understand why this is very complicated and yet why this is needed and where we require their additional help for us to be able to find a way forward. So, and having said that, again, I agree with the honorable members who have moved this particular short duration discussion that, sir, there are different activities, sir. So one has to remember and realize that our miners have been doing this for decades, sir, if not centuries. And this is the way that they know. And this is the process that they understand. And they're all from very, very economically weaker, educationally weaker background. And hence they have challenges in trying to adapt to the new technology. The funds that are required is not available to do that. And these challenges are there, sir. At the same time, government had come in, NGT had come in and simply said, from tomorrow you cannot do this anymore. Sir, there are challenges when that happens. Just to share with you, sir, and the House, that in East Jente Hills alone, there are 22,000 mines. 22,000 mines. Even if we work on stopping 500,000 this month, and then we stop them, or whatever we take action, we go and search and find out what's happening and see if there's any activity going on. And if there is activity, we actually stop it. And then we go to the next 1,000 in the next 1 month. We don't know what's happening in the first 1,000 again. So it's such a massive exercise that you cannot imagine, sir. And in the whole process, the police, the administration, yes, sir, struggles in trying to ensure that this entire, as per law, things are done. And yes, sir, I've seen many times, even the opposition, the honorable mover of the short duration discussion, has raised this issue a number of times, and many people in Gente Hill especially, many people who were involved in this kind of illegal activities, because of the voice they had raised that time, the mines were closed, people were caught, their livelihood was removed at that temporary point, and they raised it, sir. And because of their intervention, a lot of these activities stopped. A lot of the miners were affected, were impacted, they lost their livelihood, but the illegal activity stopped. And so therefore, this thing kind of work that we're doing, we're ensuring that we work closely, we try to ensure that balance is maintained, and we try to ensure that that the legal activities continue and the illegal activities stop. I repeat again, the legal activities continue, but the illegal activities stop. And we are trying to work towards balancing this entire process, sir. And I hope that we have seen the worst behind us. I hope that we'll be able to transition into something that is very, very stable in the days to come. Sir, the next number 8 point is regarding the ban on stone and sand mining and frame people-centric, environment-friendly laws. So here, let me reiterate, sir, there is no blanket ban on stone mining and or sand quarrying in Meghalaya. Sir, I repeat, there is no ban on stone mining or sand quarrying in Meghalaya. Lawful quarrying is fully permitted, but it is subject to valid mining license, quarry permit, environmental clearance, and compliance with forest pollution control and transport requirements that the law demands for everyone across the country, sir. Stone and sand are minor minerals under the Mines, Minerals, Development and Regulation Act 1957. And under Section 15 of that Act, this state government has framed the Meghalaya Minor Minerals Concession Rules 2016 to govern leases, quarry permits, royalty and transport. Sand mining is further governed by the Sustainable Sand Mining Management Guidelines 2016 and the Enforcement and Monitoring Guidelines 2020. This is regulatory framework and not a prohibition. Again, sir, I repeat, this is a regulatory framework and not a prohibition. Therefore, there is no ban. It is just the procedures that need to be followed, sir. Unfortunately, sir, we have examined all aspects. There is no provision for small scale or traditional mining under Triple MCR 2016 or under the MMDR Act 1957. So the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, has made environment clearance compulsory for mining of minor minerals in lease areas of any size. I repeat, sir, they have made the environmental clearance compulsory for mining of minor minerals in lease areas of any size. So this is where our problem lies, sir. The state government reviewed the provisions of the Meghalaya Minor Mineral Concession Rules 2016 through a committee constituted under the chairmanship of Honorable Deputy Chief Minister. And based on the recommendations of the committee, a proposal was submitted to the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change seeking exemption for traditional stone boulder mining from the requirement of obtaining prior environmental clearance. The exemption was sought in view of the mandatory requirement of prior environmental clearance for the extraction of minor minerals, irrespective of the size of the mining lease area. Sir, the ministry, however, did not accept our proposal, citing the directions arising from a judgment of the Honorable High Court of Patna. Sir, even now the government is navigating a very delicate balance between protecting livelihood of small miners, and ensuring compliance with the legal and regulatory framework. The concerns of the mining community are fully appreciated, and continuous efforts are being undertaken to facilitate lawful mining activities while safeguarding the interest of small miners. So here I would like to add that very recently, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and myself had a meeting with the miners. And we have gone through all different provisions of the Act. So we are examining all possibility. As I mentioned, sir, there are legal provisions within the Central Act which needs to be complied. Yet there are conditions that are very, very unique to our state and to our people and to our miners. And sometimes those provisions are not addressed, are not taken into consideration of the local situation that we have. Hence, sir, we have found some areas. I don't want to share all the details, sir, right now because we are still in the procedure right now. We are still working on things. It will be incorrect for me to give any further information. But all I can tell you, sir, is that we're working closely with the miners. They are aware of what provisions we are trying to look at. There seems to be a ray of hope where we may be able to figure out some way, but it is still a few meetings away. We are working very closely, as I said, even with the legal department and the AG, and also some officials of the central government to see if we can figure out a way forward. But as I said, I don't want to give a commitment right now, but I can tell you, sir, that that continuous effort and a serious effort is being made by the government on these aspects. Sir, also I would like to put on record that this government has prioritized the interest and well-being of small miners. It is this government which in 2019 fought for the rights of the tribal landowners, both private and community, and got a landmark judgment that the landowners possess both surface and subsoil rights. It is this government, so this government will continue taking up all issues with central government, the courts and all others to find a sustainable solution to the concerns of all the small miners. I would also like to place on record before this August House that this government is implementing several environmental programs, including the country's biggest Payment for Ecosystems Services program, several highly acclaimed spring sheds and water conservation efforts are being conducted.
Habatin, pej bahagi kishab plus F.
Ka plus F?
Hakabam bangibam dunaki eki bataye kamet. Namar kata habathiru atau kau kamlu ka umpnyang kadut pej ya kishab plus F haka jingsom. Yaki nutrient kumki vitamin bat ka ayan la icon diat bat ka bathau bha kam kta ka dur jingki marbam ka jing mat lani ka rukom shed yaki. Balehi banai kita. Kadon ka we ka jing mentoy ba kongsan. Ka kot ka kia. Ka nutrition bakam bha ka jing im bakam bha pendon kam daki mar ba madon ka sharp plus F menta kasni
Lawan Ra Shafi Lingba ko office jong Commissionerate of Food Safety Meghalaya.